But the nutrition worked really well with people who were otherwise happy and positive. But then people with anxiety and depression, they struggled. And I'm like, oh, I have to examine the mood component. Why are so many people with trauma showing up? Let me examine the trauma component. And so everything I do is results-based. And that's the difference between what I'm teaching you and a lot of what you see online. Dr. Goldner, how did you know you didn't just get lucky to reverse your disease? That's a great question. Because I've been able to reproduce it, right? So that's why, by the way, the reason why I didn't just tell everybody the moment I got better to just do what I did was that's not scientific to me. And I take it very seriously to represent myself completely transparently, truthfully, to help others. And so I didn't want to, like, my lupus is gone. I'm feeling great. I didn't want to just go, okay, well, it must be my diet or it must be this. Let me just tell people to do what I did. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people you see on social media, they did something, they feel better, and now they're telling everyone to do what they did. And they don't know, am I better because of what I did? Am I better in spite of what I did? Why am I better? To me, that's not science. And it's not, I don't think that's integrity either. So what I did was, I wanted to make sure that I was better because of what I did and to figure out exactly what I did that actually did that. And was I better in spite of some other things? So there were many different factors. And then over the years, anytime there was an issue with someone's recovery, I would investigate that. So for example, I initially brought people the nutrition, but the nutrition worked really well with people who were otherwise happy and positive. But then people with anxiety and depression, they struggled. And I'm like, oh, I have to examine the mood component. Why are so many people with trauma showing up? Let me examine the trauma component. And so everything I do is results-based. And that's the difference between what I'm teaching you and a lot of what you see online is this is results-based and it's evidence-based. So, you know, before I was a doctor, I was a genetic researcher. And then I became a Western medical doctor. And for me, evidence and results are integral to the truth of what we do. It's also why I don't ever make things up in terms of someone will say, will this help this? If I've never helped the condition that you're asking me about, I will say, I don't know. Because I don't want to make something up. I want to teach you what is results based. So yes, if I was the only one who did this and nobody else who did it got better, I would say that was luck. Right? Some people have suggested maybe it was falling in love, right? I did fall in love. I'm still madly in love. Hello there. But I was in love with him for 6 months and I had lupus. And it was after I changed my diet that things started to change. And then after I had my first son, that's when my husband and I said, okay, I've now been lupus free for 5 years at that point. I lost all of the baby weight within 9 days of birth. I felt amazing. I was making tons of milk. I had no aches and pains. I still was negative for lupus on my labs and symptoms. That's when we said, okay, this is irrefutable now that the lupus is not here. Why? Now, my husband's also a scientist. So we went back in to examine what is the impact on cells in the immune system from nutrition, because that's really all I changed. I'd like to work out beforehand. What was different? I'd always was an optimistic, positive person. So the difference was the nutrition. And that's when we realized we'd accidentally created the most anti-inflammatory nutrition possible. And even then we didn't bring it to the public. We tested it. I volunteered for free at like the Lupus Foundation to ask people, would you try this diet? Let's see what happens. And since then now we have rapid recovery programs where, gosh, how many people do you think do our program a year? In the hundreds at least, maybe more than that, right? Who go through all of our groups and who work with me personally. And so we have vast amounts of data from people with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, mixed connective tissue disease, all sorts of diseases who have replicated those results. And that is why I know it's not just luck, because it's science and it's provable through results. I hope that helps you.